Halo, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Riwayuni. Today, I will do my second project of sociolinguistic, that is the presentation about speech act, locution, elocution, and perlocution. Okay, let's start from the speech act. Speech act theory is a field of pragmatics that studies how words are used not only to present information, but also to carry out action. So, it means that when we learn about speech act theory, we can find out that speech not only serve to convey information, but can also serve to perform actions. This concept was introduced by philosopher J.L. Austin and later developed by John Searle. Speech act is an utterance that serve a function in communication. According to Hidayah 2016, speech acts are acts that refer to the action performed by produced utterance. We perform speech acts in everyday life by greeting, apologizing, requesting, complaining, and so on. Next is Austin theory of speech act. Austin 1962 claimed that all utterances, in addition to meaning whatever they mean, perform specific acts via specific communicative force of an utterance. He introduced a threefold distinction among the acts one simultaneously performs when saying something. That is locutionary, elocutionary, perlocutionary. Next is the importance of understanding the speech act. Besides to understanding that a speech can be used to perform action rather than just convey information, there are several other functions of understanding speech act. That is, first is improve communication skill. By understanding the speech act, a person not only learns about to convey information, but also understand how to convey an intention appropriately according to the context. For example, when someone say, "Can you close the window?" it's not just a question, it's a request. The ability to recognize and use different types of speech such as commands, requests, promise, or please will help a person become a more effective and polite communicator, especially in intercultural contexts. Second is avoid misunderstanding in social interaction. Misunderstanding often occur because the intent of a speech is not captured correctly. For example, the phrase, "it's hot," could mean more than just a statement, perhaps an indirect request for the fan to be turned on. By understanding the speech act, we can capture the hidden or implicit intent of the other person's speech, so that the interaction becomes smoother and there are no misinterpretations. And the third is knowing how our speech can affect others. Each speech has the potential to produce a social or emotional impact for the listener. For example, a statement, "I will help you tomorrow," not only conveys intention, but also creates hope or promise. By recognizing this, we will be wiser and more careful in our speech because we know that speech can affect the feelings, decisions, or action of others. Next is locution. The definition of locution is the literal meaning of what is said or communicative act. It is the actual act of speaking in which the speaker conveys information or statements. For example, if someone says, "I'm hungry," that's a locutive speech act. The remarks only convey information that the person feels hungry. Next is elocution. The definition of elocution is the intent or purpose behind the speech. This includes what the speaker wants to accomplish with the speech, such as asking, offering, or giving comments. The act of elocution speech is more related to the meaning contained in speech. For the example, when someone says, "I'm hungry," the intent behind the saying is a request. In this case, the act of elocution speech is request to get food. Next is the types of elocutionary act according to Searle 1975 are divided into 5 main categories. The first is assertives. function instead something that is believed to be true, such as that, claimed, reported, or suggested. For the example, the earth revolves around the sun. This sentence including to the assertive because it aims to affirm the truth. And then the second is directives, used to ask someone else to do something. This include commanding, asking, and advising. For example, please close the door. This sentence including to the directive because the speaker directs the listener to do something. Next is commissive. Represent the speaker commitment to perform an action in the future such as promise, ought, or over. For example, I will be coming tomorrow. This sentence is including in the commissive because the speaker is committed to doing the action that is coming. And then next, expressive. Showing the speaker feeling or attitudes towards something. For example, thanking, apologizing, complaining, or congratulating. For example, thank you for your help. And the last is declarations. Changing the status or situation of a thing through the speech itself. It usually only applies in an official context. For example, I declare you passed. This sentence including the declaration because it creates a direct change in a status. Next is perlocution. Perlocution refers to the effect or impact that speech has on the listener. This includes direction of response that result from the speech, both emotionally and in action. For example, if someone says, I'm hungry, and the other person feels sorry and then gives food, then the act of perlocution speech is the act of giving food that results from the speech. In this case, the speech triggers an emotional response and action from the listener. Next is the differences between locution, elocution, and perlocution. The first is locution, that is what is said. For example, I'm hungry. Just the information about the speaker is hungry. And then elocution is the intent behind the speech. For example, in the sentence I'm hungry, it means that the speaker requests for food. And then perlocution, an effect on the listener. For example, in the sentence I'm hungry has an impact the listener giving a food to the speaker. Okay, the last is conclusion. Speech art theory is a branch of pragmatics that discusses how speech is not only used to convey information, but also to perform actions. This theory was first introduced by T.L. Austin and developed by John Searle. In any communication, there are three important aspects. That is locution, what is spoken literally, elocution, the intent or purpose of the speech, and the perlocution, the effect or impact it has on the listener. In addition to understanding this structure, we also need to recognize the types of elocutional acts such as assertive, directive, commissive, expressive, and declarations. By understanding the speech act, we can improve our communication skills, avoid misunderstandings, and become more aware of how our speech can affect others socially and emotionally. Okay, that's all my presentation. Thank you so much.